So if you saw the keynote this morning, one of the topics was how do you connect? How do you connect with consumers if you're DTC? Well, one of the ways you connect, obviously, is through search, through social, through your website. So I want to try to be as useful as I can to you for this short presentation. So help me out, if you would, by answering a few questions for me so I can tailor my remarks to your level of knowledge about technology. So by a show of hands, how many of you are familiar with SERPs? SERP, and it stands for Search Engine Results Pages. SERPs. Okay. And then I'm going to ask a couple more. How many of you have ever heard of something called Schema Markup? A few people, okay. And then the last one is map packs. Map packs, okay. So I've got one compatriot here in the audience with me. Actually, two, sorry about that. Thank you, that's helpful. So let's start with a discussion of local search. So how many of you have tasting rooms? Okay, so if you have a tasting room, local search is what drives traffic to your tasting room. Someone brings up their cell phone, they're visiting, so Google knows where they are, and they don't search the name of your winery, they just search wineries or wineries near me. That's it. And then if you look at my slide here, I've got an example of a map pack, and it's outlined in red and it says map pack, and that's just in universal Google search results. So if you were to take out your phone right now and search wineries in Google, you're going to get at the top of your results this map pack. And there's going to be 3 results in the map pack. And 90% of the traffic is going to go to those 3 wineries in the map pack. So even if you were ranking number 1 in organic search, which I've highlighted in purple there, you see, it wouldn't even really matter because people are going to go to the map results. And the way that Google decides who's going to be in the map results is completely different than how they decide who's going to be in the universal results. So map rankings and organic rankings are determined by different algorithms. They're completely different games. And map rankings are what drives traffic to the tasting room, and tasting room is, it all starts there, right? You convert the club member, you sell on-premise wine, that's where you get a cut. We were hearing from Ben this morning, we want to have one-on-one relationships with our customer. Well, no better place to do that than the tasting room, and no better way to get them there through local search. Organic rankings, on the other hand, are what would drive wine e-commerce sales. So if you want to sell a case or any product on your website to a consumer, that's organic rankings, right? So you've got these 2 to worry about. Now, on the right-hand side of the slide is a map. And each of the positions on the map has a different number. And what that means is if you were standing in any of those positions in the map and you searched keyword wineries, right, that's where the client that I'm running this search for would rank. And you can see I've blurred out their names so as not to embarrass anybody. But these are the top 5 ranking wineries for keyword wineries searched on a mobile device in the Sebastopol area. So the center of my map is the center of Sebastopol. And so you can see all that really matters is a 1, 2, 3. Because no one is going to click over to more results. Well, a few people will, but very few. The majority of the traffic is going to 1, 2, 3. So on the map, you can see 1, 2, 3 are different shades of green, right? Now, this map you're looking at is for the top ranking winery for keyword wineries with a 6-mile grid around Sebastopol. You can see I've highlighted them, and there's the one that's showing. So because it's a rural area, it's not possible to dominate the entire grid, right? There's too much going on there. But this is probably about as best as you can do, right? Now, it's not enough to just have 1s, 2s, 3s. you want to have your ones, twos, threes where people are. So you want your 1, 2, 3 in Sebastopol, right, at the Barlow, right? Because if you have 1, 2, 3s in rural areas, that's not going to get you any customers, right? So this is really a very important thing to understand about search. If you want to connect with customers, right, this is how you do it. So we hear a lot about connecting with customers through content marketing and public relations and search engine optimization. And the point I want to make here is search engine optimization works best when it's combined with another marketing tool. Search engine optimization by itself is usually skullduggery, it's trickery, it's snake oil, it's something that doesn't last. If you want rankings with integrity that are going to last, you want to link it to something that's going to be there forever. Now, one of the ways that Google decides who to rank is based on who's linking to your website. Because it's easy to say great things about yourself, but it's tougher to get other people to reference you. So Google treats links like recommendations, like votes, and ranks search results accordingly. So the way you're going to get those links is by creating content that's going to resonate with your consumer. And a lot of people, they'll launch a blog and they'll do all these promotional posts about how great they are. Well, that's a house organ. No one cares, right? You've got to think, what information do people need to make a decision of what tasting room to visit? And what information do they need that's not out there already? Because if the information's already out there, you got to do better information than the people who have it out there already. They're in the content business, you're in the wine business, right? So better to find a vacuum. What's a piece of information that people would like to have about wineries that's just not out there? And then create that information. So this is a case study. This is a data visualization from a report I wrote called the Sonoma Wine Tasting Report. Some of you may have seen it. I've done it for a few years now for a client. And what it is a list of all wineries and what the average price is, how many of them require reservations, how many don't, how many have tastings with their pairings, how many don't. And it's divided, it's anonymized, but it's by each neighborhood and each AVA. So now if you search, right, you're going to find this content, you're going to find average pricing, you're going to find who takes reservations, who doesn't, and it's going to help you make your decision on where to go. And something like this, right, combined with a little public relations and SEO, allowed us to get backlinks from the San Francisco Chronicle, the Press Democrat, the Gazette, Wine Business Monthly, and you can see I appeared on CNN talking about the results of the report. And so this type of a thing is how you engineer a news trend that has a snowball effect that gathers its own force and produces several hundred links. So when you think about content, don't think so much just about content for my consumers. Think about content that people who are creating content will want to link to. And then the last slide I want to show you, this is a brand new development. And this isn't about local, this is about e-commerce for wine. So these are search results on Google, just a regular Google search, and I'm saying buy at the beginning, right? I say buy Pinot Noir. So when I use the word buy at the beginning of my search phrase, Google knows, oh, this is a shopping search. It now loads these filters that I've outlined in pink here on the left. Looks like Amazon. And you can select the filters to filter your results. Then there's a product grid. It's not at the top of the screen these days, but I could see it becoming at the top of the screen at some point. And each of these product grids has product tiles on it, right? And if you select a tile, and I've highlighted in green the one that I selected. In this case, it's Bella Gloss Clark and Telephone Pinot Noir from the Bella Gloss website. Rather than taking you over to the website of the winery, which is how search used to work, it loads the product detail page right there in the search results. Right? You never leave Google. You're there the whole time. And then you see in the bottom of the search results, this product knowledge panel that's got the product detail page is a merchant list. So now Google not only is not going to give you the traffic, they're not sending the traffic to your page, they're going to load your page in search results. And by the way, They're going to show everyone who's selling your product right there on your product page in that merchant list with comparable pricing. And now I want to just point out one last thing. You see this little size button at the top there? If you select by size, right, it reshuffles the list. And whoever's got that information there is going to be the one that shows up and the one that doesn't. This is powered by a type of code called Schema. And there's more information at schema.org. It is very technical. But we're at a point now where if you're not publishing Schema on your website in the back end, you're not going to show up on Google. You're not going to connect because they're not going to find you. And this has been something I've been arm wrestling with clients over for years now. Oh, you got to publish Schema. And, you know, wineries are resistant to investing in content because they're busy and it's an expense. But the truth is, if you don't embrace Schema at this point, you run the risk, you know, of not even being seen. So I guess just to wrap up my comments and then we'll get into questions. I know there are a lot of challenges in the wine business now, but I would say, you know, this isn't just about surviving the current challenges. This is really about thriving in a new era, right? It's about using digital tools to tell your story, connect with your community, and create a legacy that will endure, right? Not something that's going to be here today, gone tomorrow. I believe we are living through a digital renaissance, and it's a journey of innovation, adaptation, and commitment. And it requires the same level of commitment and love that you put into your vines. Thank you.